Well, hi everyone. There's been something interesting going on in Helsinki for the last week or so, and we've decided to do a little live stream about that. So there is a protest by illegal aliens, or specifically asylum seekers who have gotten their application rejected, and they are protesting the Finnish immigration policy, and they are demanding that their decisions are changed so that they will get asylum in Finland. And it's been interesting to follow that these people, they themselves say that they are illegal aliens. They have gotten their applications denied. They didn't get asylum, but they are still here and they are protesting. So what are the cops doing about this? Like, shouldn't they be enforcing our immigration laws and basically arresting these people, at least checking if they have paperwork?
Yeah, they should, but the system in Finland is such that when the illegal alien enters the country, he applies for asylum. He waits for that decision for 2 years. If it gets rejected, then he files a complaint about that, and then he waits again for 1 or 2 years. Then, if that is rejected, he makes another complaint, and then if that is rejected, then he is officially illegally in the country.
So that the complaint process is done to,
Yeah.
There's no place to complain to anymore.
Yeah, so there's about 5 years of hanging in the country for free. Then they can be called illegal aliens. So what is happening now? Now they are camping in the center of Helsinki, and the police just is helping them there. And if the thing is that we have some Finnish people who are also camping there because they are against this bullshit. What happens? The police is bullying these nationalist people that they have no right to be there. And now on Friday, or was it Saturday, two of these activists were jailed.
Yeah, and here I'm now sharing a photo of these poor little refugees who are protesting in the middle of Helsinki. So as you can see, they are all young males or middle-aged males, no women or children to be seen. And here's another photo of their camp. They have these camping tents in there and a sign saying, "The refugee is not your enemy. The enemy is who made them refugee." And in this photo too, only men, nothing else.
Yeah, so this is what is happening, and what is unbelievable is that these people are let there. The police does not. I phoned the police in Helsinki. I called them. I said there are illegal aliens in the middle of the city. Nothing happens. Nothing.
And they were actually pretty annoyed. Like you could hear it in their voice that they sounded very annoyed about you not calling them and saying, okay, there are illegals in the middle of Helsinki. They are themselves saying that they are illegals. So could you go and check their paperwork if they have residence permits? And cops do nothing. Like cops have been at the protests all the time, but they haven't been there to do any immigration control. They have been there only to protect the asylum seekers or the migrants who are protesting.
Yeah, because for some unknown reason, these police officers think that the nationalists are going to attack them.
And there's absolutely no reason to believe so, because when has that happened? When have nationalists attacked some?
No, these nationalists, they have been live streaming from their camp for over a week, and it is clear that they have no intention of creating any violence, because they know that it's of no use to try to be violent, because you only lose with that. You end up in jail. Even if you do nothing wrong, the police is all the time harassing them, all the time. So this again just proves the double standards that are enforced in this country. And I don't know, I'm starting to hate these police officers. I have no respect for these people at all.
And this migrant protest has become the source of virtue signaling for these green-red politicians, like the parliament member from the Green Party, Emma Kari, went to visit this migrant protest, and she made a live stream from there on Facebook, and she took her most serious expression and explained to the camera that there are women and children here. And you could clearly see behind her that they were only men, not a single migrant woman or a child to be seen. But that's still what she said. Like, she blatantly lied that there were women and children to raise some sympathy for these people. And they are actually so desperate to have women and children over there that they have these Finnish activists. They have taken their own kids to the migrant protest and taken photos.
Oh, here's
Of the, yeah, I think you could show it from there. So they have taken photos of like this. Like, they have taken a little Finnish girl and they take photos of her with these grown migrant men. And that's how they can then say that, okay, we have women and children over here. And I actually wrote a blog post about this in Finnish, and the title was "We have brown men, white women, and white children over here." And
what the fuck is this?
Like, who thinks this is a good idea? They are taking a little girl, like, what is she, 4 years old, to be photographed with these grown men who come from a culture where she's basically marriage age.
And this is the center of Helsinki. You can see the railway station. And these should be sent back to, or out of Finland. They should be sent to Sweden or to another country. But no, they are camping in the center of Helsinki. This is the state in Finland, state of affairs in Finland.
And then these migrants, they demanded that immigration officials, like leaders from the Finnish immigration office Migri, must come there, and that and they also demanded ministers to come over there. And our Secretary of State, Paula Risikko, actually went to these protests. She visited both the migrant protest and the nationalist counter protest. And here's Paula, our Secretary of State, and this talk she had with the nationalists gives a pretty good image on why our policies suck so badly, like why our immigration policy is so crazy. Like, she's completely out of touch, she's completely clueless, she has no idea of what's really going on. So we can translate to you what she's saying over here.
And her glasses are problematic. But this is the nationalists' camp, which was emptied. 2 days after her visit, they were thrown in jail.
Yeah, but we can move on to that later. But let's see what she has to say and then move on to the camp being taken down.
I don't know why people are voting for these idiots. What the fuck?
Like this leader of protesters, Marko David, is explaining that one of the protesters is 17 years old, and for some reason, the Secretary of State goes, "Oh, like, what's the big deal about it? Like, has she come to talk about the age of the demonstrators?" Could you skip to the part? Yes, here. So she explains that she was in the migrant camp and now wants to talk to these people too. And I should say that the other people over here, the man on the left is Marko David. He was the leader or is the leader of these nationalist protests, and the woman filming behind her is his girlfriend Mari Kosonen.
So he said that he says that the migrants you just met, they are illegal in the country and they should be sent back. So look at her face. She's very saddened by this information.
It's so sad that they just won't leave on their own.
Yeah. So, hello, I'm from the government. What are your demands? We want these people out. No.
No.
Ja ihan mukava ilmapiiri täällä ollut. Ja nyt me tänään aiotaan sitten jakaa näitä vaatteita myöskin näille vähätuloisille sitten. Mistä te olette keränneet?
They are also passing out clothes for the needing.
Se on se meidän perusidea. Viimeisiä, jotka just näen, että johon leikataan. Elikkä me vastustetaan noihan puolustaa, ketkä on saanut potkut Suomesta tai ylköpäätöksen. Ja me puolustetaan suomalaisuutta, että eikö se pitäisi poistaa maasta?
He's asking, shouldn't these migrant protesters be removed from the country? And that they are driving busloads of these illegals to the protest.
Kello 11 aikaa välillä aamullakin. Ja mitäs mieltä te olette tästä asiasta?
What do you think about this?
Sillä tavalla tietysti, että jokaisella on niin kuin täällä Suomessa tämä mielipideoikeutensa, että tällaista niin kuin...
She says everybody has a right to an opinion. And that she won't have any stand in the migrants protesting. She doesn't have an opinion about that.
Sisäministerinä meillä laki sanoo sillä tavalla, että Suomi on oikeusvaltio ja jokaisen
Finland is a justice state.
Käsitellään yksilöllisesti.
Each asylum application is handled individually.
Ja sen mä sanoin heillekin äsken tuolla. Ja sen jälkeen, kun tulee lainvoimainen päätös, niin ohjataan vapaaehtoisen paluuseen.
And when they get rejected and the decision is final, the complaint process is through, they are guided to voluntary leaving. That they leave out of their own free will. They get some money if they leave without making trouble out of it. But that doesn't happen because a lot of these people prefer to stay in Finland illegally.
Yeah, and this whole demonstration is about illegal people who don't want to leave the country. So what the fuck is she explaining this shit? Everybody
this
knows
has nothing to do with, like, this is so basic, and it really annoys me that if our Secretary of State is at such a basic level that we have illegal migrants who are refusing to leave the country, even though they have gotten rejected and the decision is final. And she is there saying, oh, Finland is a justice state and we have this process and we are guiding them to leave voluntarily and like that.
Fucking moron.
And
they are explaining that they are not leaving, they won't leave.
Holy shit, now she says that, yeah, but we have told all towns and cities that they also have to guide these people to the voluntary leaving, and we have also told these churches that they have to guide these people to voluntary leaving. like, what has that got to do with this? These people aren't leaving voluntarily.
Okay, so here's one of these guys. She could go and guide this.
And that's a cop he's shouting at.
Yeah,
As you can see,
here are two police officers. And this San nigger will not leave Finland, even that the previous bitch is saying that they should, or we are asking them to leave. Please, could you leave our country in which you are illegally? And this is the reality. These are the kids and
like
women.
This is from, as you can see, from Rautatientori. That's the place migrants are now protesting at, and he's just raging at the police.
Look at these idiots. Is this a police officer? This is a clown.
The Iraqi is giving orders to the Finnish police.
They try to have a conversation with this guy, and he doesn't. He has no knowledge of English.
All the Finland for me. This is not your country.
Is this a police officer?
Like he's over there shouting at these cops, and they are not making any moves. Like if this was a Finnish guy shouting at the cops like this, waving his hands, he would be in cuffs right now. He would have been in cuffs right from the start. But they are just standing there. They are doing absolutely nothing. Like, is this the poor little refugee? You remember the images of the Syrian children? Does this look like them? And these.
Now this San nigger is giving orders to the police. I don't know why are they. Who pays for these guys? Cuff him, ask him for his ID, and throw him to jail. What the fuck is this shit?
Like, that's how our cops are. And that guy was over there shouting. And for the next piece, we could show you some footage from the nationalist protest. And the nationalists had been protesting in front of the Kiasma Museum of Modern Art. And that's the place where the migrant protest was also originally held. Then after a week or so, the city got sick of the protesters, and they said that they have to change places, that they have to go to the Rautatientori, where the previous clip was shot at. And these nationalists refused to leave. They said that it's their constitutional right to protest there if they want to. And then on the next morning, after the cops gave them orders to leave, at around 5 or 6 a.m., cops showed up over there with 9 patrols. There were 9 patrols to evict these nationalists. And you could show them what happened in there. So the cops are taking down the camp. And here's Marko David, the man you saw earlier. He says, "Don't touch me." He says, "Pretty wild." And cops take him away, and he was held arrested for something like 12 hours. Just for that. And later the cops also claimed that he had attacked them, that he had tried to kick an officer. And he got charges for violent resisting of an officer of the law. But I really don't think so. Like, I know the man, and I'm not on the best terms with him. There's a lot about his personality and behavior that rubs me the wrong way. So I have no reason to defend the guy or whitewash his actions in any way. But I definitely don't believe that he would have kicked a police officer. Like, do you think so?
The police is our enemy. They're nothing. They are not following the law. They are following orders, and they are idiots. They are. I don't respect those.
And they also told these people to stop recording what's happening. So we can't really know how this entire situation ended. But it got even more absurd with when the nationalists started taking down their camp, and this situation was going on. The girlfriend of this arrested man, Marko David, went to their tent to pick up their personal items. And she took some items, left the tent, took the items to the car. Then she went to get the rest of their stuff. And a police officer stopped her on the way to the tent and told her that she cannot go to the tent anymore. She said that she had some personal items in there that she needed. So the cops arrested her too. And I'll show you a photo of them from over here.
So why are these?
So here's the couple. Like, these guys got arrested, and they arrested this little woman for resisting a police order to leave. And it's so ironic that this woman gets arrested for 3 hours for resisting an order to leave, but just a couple of 100 meters away, there's a protest of illegal aliens who are refusing to leave the entire country. They are not being arrested. This woman is being arrested for not leaving the tent.
Arrested and fined.
Yes, she also got fined for it. So this is just ridiculous.
I'm telling you, these guys are our enemy. There are some nationalists who say, no, the police, they are on our side. No. How are they on our side? They are evacuating a legal Finnish camp. But when a sand nigger comes and gives them orders, they are like, oh, excuse me. Imagine, and there are many people wondering how is it possible that in Sweden there are problems, because of this stupid attitude that there was only one of those guys shouting there, but imagine there's 50 of those. These guys cannot handle the situation. They are not. I don't know where they hire these idiots, but yeah, we follow orders. And we don't have to follow illegal orders.
And could you stop it so there's less background noise? So these Finnish activists who take part in the migrant protests, they mostly are people from Facebook groups such as the Refugee Hospitality Club, which is basically a group for women who have found themselves some sex toys from the local asylum seeker housing center. So they grab some migrant for their boyfriend, and then they suddenly become multiculturalists and strong promoters of an open border policy. And they, of course, are now very concerned about their little sex toys being deported. So naturally, they are supporting this migrant protest. And it's just so telling to see these images of these brown men with white women and white children in the process. Like no brown women, no white men. And it's so crazy how these people are, like in this Refugee Hospitality Club, where there are these girlfriends of migrants. One woman was complaining that the Finnish welfare office, that they are not giving her boyfriend money because they are considering them to be in common law marriage. And some other group members then told her that, okay, but you can just inform them that you are not a common law couple, that you are just roommates. And then the woman said, yeah, but we are really a common law couple, but I just don't want him to be completely financially dependent on me. I want him to have some pocket money of his own. So she has found herself this sex toy from the asylum seeker housing center, but she doesn't want to pay for him. She wants the taxpayer to give her sex toy some pocket money.
So after the nationalists got freed from jail, they returned to the railway station. And this is from today, about 2 hours ago maybe. And again, the police are harassing the nationalists. And look at this idiot's attitude compared to the previous one.
He has an idiot smirk on all the time. He doesn't listen to what this guy is telling him.
I only want to hit the fucker.
Ja niin kuin mä tein 50 kertaa aikaisemminkin, eli nyt on paljon, että tässä on lukenut sitä. Eli tarkoitessa niin jatka edelleen tällainen, saadaan katsotaan kautta toisella puolella. Ja saadaan ottaa suomalaisten leiri tästä näin, koska mulla on täysin vauhdottomasti ja täysin rauhallisesti tässä. Jos niin muodostaa leiriä sillä tavalla, mitä haluaa. Mutta missään nimessä me ei ole henkilöitä siirtymään tästä. Ja jos ajat alkaa nyt asiat kyseessä. Tässä meidän seisoo tässä kylttien kanssa. Sen takia hän on siihen, että on itse pelkästään meidän kansalaiset suomalaisten kimppuun. Eli tätä asiaa. Koette, että nyt saisi. Siitä on kyse nimenomaan.
Sitä kannattaa jostain syystä kovasti.
Ei ole kyse, ettekö saisi osoittaa meidän. Siis onko se saa osoittaa meidän? Tässä nimenomaan saa täysin yhteisöstä. No, päästy pois. Kyllä se on tietysti. Ei voida pystyä takkana, vaan se ei ole.
Tää ollaan just sadissa. Jotain myyränkoa voisi tutkia tarjoutetta.
And you could see that attitude with the cop, like he was smirking at these people all the time. He laughed at them when this Finnish activists said that they are using passive resistance against this migrant protest. So he had this really condescending and mocking attitude towards these Finns. And when, like, look at him, he's just smirking all the time. He doesn't even listen to him. And compare that to how they treated the Iraqi who shouted at the cops. And they are now telling these people to leave again. Like, they have announced their demonstration. Like, the Finnish law doesn't require you to tell the police force beforehand if you're going to hold a demonstration, but it's considered like good manners to let the cops know. And these guys had announced in the electronic service the police force has their demonstration. So they were there completely legally. Police had no right to tell them to leave. But still, there he was. And keep in mind that all the time, those illegals are over there just behind the corner, and nobody, like, they are in the country illegally, and they are not being told to leave the country. But these nationalists are all the time being told to leave whatever marketplace or street corner they are protesting at. Like, for some reason, it's a big deal to get the nationalists out of the city, but it's not a big deal to get possible terrorists out of the country.
And here's
yeah, this is something people talk about a lot in the comment section. The Congolese guy.
Yeah. So this is from yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm not sure. I think it was yesterday. So here we are at the nationalist side. The police comes probably to harass them, but what happens is
and the cop says that they have some Congolese guy who is lost in their car.
Yeah, so not only these idiots are all the time harassing normal people, but they also act as a taxi service for these Africans.
And apparently this Congolese is, I don't know, maybe he's supposed to be at the migrant demonstration, and these cops are trying to take him there. And for some reason they ended up here in the Finland First demonstration with the Congolese. Like, what are they doing there? They are bringing some fucking Congolese to Finland First demonstration and making complete fools of themselves. Now he says that we are Finland First, we are not the migrant demonstration. And they're pointing them to the migrant demonstration. Cops are bringing Congolese over here.
This is the attitude towards normal people. They don't talk. They just they treat you like animals. No, this.
Hmm?
They said, you are not the, okay, and they leave.
Now they laugh that they came to the wrong camp, that these people are Finland First. They're saying that this is what the Finnish police looks like. And that this is no camp for Congolese.
Mä tiedän, että kameramiehen pitäisi olla torpaki.
And here there's a Somali gang.
Aikamoinen lössi. Siellä on ihan varmasti siellä.
And the police doesn't do anything.
Tosi iso jengi.
And just a couple of days ago, I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, one follower of mine contacted me on Facebook. He lives in Helsinki, and he was going to the subway at something around 6 p.m. But he was unable to use the subway because there was some Somali gang in front of the entrance, and they weren't letting him in. Like he was too scared to try and pass them. And he had called 911 that, okay, I'm trying to go to the subway, but I can't because these Somalis are harassing me. And you know what the people in 911 told him? They said, use a taxi. They didn't send cops over there. They just told him to use a taxi. And I guess this is the reason, they can't send a police patrol to help a Finnish guy who is being harassed by Somali gangs. They are too busy working as cab drivers for Congolese illegals.
Yeah, hello, I cannot use the subway. There's violent Somalis in here. I'll use a taxi. But you are the taxi. Okay, so here's this idiot we talked before. She's a member of parliament, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, she is. This is the woman I mentioned earlier, Emma Kari.
And she says that, yes, I'm here at the migrant camp, and there's women and children. So just.
And look at this, what is behind her? Look, do those look like women and children to you?
Maybe they are trans women.
Trans children.
Yeah. So this.
Yeah, and she's taking her most serious expression and saying that for 3 days, not a single member of our government parties has come here to virtue signal, like I do. Like these people use these migrants as mascots, like they like to take photos with them so they can put them on Twitter, use all the nice hashtags and get a lot of likes with them.
What is wrong with this country and these people? What the fuck is going on here?
And it's so insane that imagine that she's on the parliament and we have an immigration law that was legally made, like it was set by our parliament and it's in harmony with our constitution. But this woman who is in the parliament thinks that it's a more reasonable way to decide our immigration policy to have this sort of a shout vote at the marketplace among illegal aliens. That is the wise and good way to decide our immigration policy, that these illegals at the marketplace, they are saying something, so that's how it is. We should change our immigration policy because foreigners tell us to. And it's interesting that they are also branding these nationalists to be some sort of far-right group, racists and all that, even though their claim is very simple. They are only saying that we should follow our own immigration laws. Our immigration laws say that if someone doesn't meet the requirements of getting an asylum, they shouldn't get an asylum and they should be deported from the country if they refuse to leave voluntarily. That's the law. We are not following it now. And these nationalists are only demanding that we follow our own law and deport these illegals. And that, for some reason, that's far right and that's racist. Like, this is so surreal. Like, a friend told me the other day that reality is becoming more like parody every day. That it's becoming a caricature of reality. And that's exactly how it is. Like things are turning so crazy that I really don't know how to respond to this anymore. Like nothing really surprises me anymore. Like it takes a lot to shock or surprise me in any way. And if you see this enough, it becomes this new normal that you get used to the world being completely insane. And in an insane world, it easily starts to feel like you're the crazy one because the world doesn't seem to follow any sort of rules for rationality. And I don't know how long these immigrants are going to, or migrants are going to protest in there. Do you have any idea? Because
on Wednesday it's 15 below zero, so maybe they'll get sick then.
yeah, it's been pretty warm now, so it's been easy for them to camp over there. But when it really gets below zero, well below zero, it's a bit more difficult to do camping without heating in the middle of Helsinki. And these guys already had some of their demands met. Like they demanded that some ministers come see them. Ministers came and saw them. They are demanding changes in immigration policy, and that of course cannot happen because that doesn't happen with a snap of fingers, and it shouldn't happen just because some foreigners demand it. We are a democratic nation, and a nation exists to serve its people. That's what states are for. So naturally Finns get to decide how the Finnish immigration policy is, not some Iraqis and Afghanis.
Yes, 2 years ago when we said that these asylum seekers, they are entering illegally the country. These idiots said, no, but the Geneva Convention, blah, blah, they are legally in the country, blah, blah, they are applying for asylum, blah, blah. Okay, so when they got their application rejected, then we said, but no, they are illegally. No, they have filed a complaint, so they are waiting for that, and so blah, blah, Geneva Convention. Okay, so then they got that rejected. No, but they are complaining about that complaint, so they are still legally. But now they are illegal. Yes, they are illegally, but let them protest. Well, what do they want? They want to let everybody in. Why are they even reading their applications? Just give them straight a passport. Okay, here's your Finnish passport. But don't protest. Shut the fuck up. Build your Rinkeby there and bring those police officers there when they burn cars and throw stones and Molotov cocktails on these police officers' head. Then I will be able to say, I told you so. No. Go there and get stoned, idiots. In other news, was this...
I was just thinking about the same.
This idiot is or was the Swedish
Foreign Affairs Secretary, I think.
Yeah, and he's tweeting an article of the Huffington Post, which is bullshit, and I replied to him. And so, what is this? Yesterday in Florida, Trump was having a speech in which.
You look at what's happening last night in Sweden. Sweden. Who would believe this? Sweden. They took in large numbers. They're having problems like they never thought possible. You look at what's happening in Brussels. You look at what's happening all over the world. Take a look at Nice.
Okay, so he said, have a look at what happened yesterday in Sweden. And this idiot, I don't...
And Huffington Post is saying, Donald Trump appears to make up Sweden terror attack. He at no point said that there was a terror attack in Sweden. He didn't say so.
Never mind. Fake news is fake news, but I mean, this idiot is using fake news article, and I asked him, what did you smoke? Did Donald Trump mention a terror attack while you were smoking? And these idiots are... another one was a so-called Finnish...
And this, I think you're meaning the tweet by Alexander Stubb, and his tweet was actually even mentioned in Washington Post, a news article by them. The Washington Post referred to this tweet by Alexander Stubb in which he says, "Dear Donald Trump, Sweden is immigration friendly. international and liberal, one of the most prosperous, richest, safest places on earth.
So I replied like this.
And Alexander Stubb, like, you need to understand that he is what Donald Trump would call a loser. Like, he has been kicked out of his chairmanship in his own party. He used to be the prime minister, but now he's only a parliament member, and he's handling even that in a very shitty manner. He was the prime minister for only 1 year, and one of his own cabinet members said later on that it was a shocking year, complete sabotage. Like, he is such a destructive force as a politician that he keeps failing in everything he does, and this tweet is just a natural continuum. It's part of that continuum of Alexander Stubb's failures. And it's so unreal that he has the guts to tell Donald Trump what to do or what to think. Like, you're a complete loser and a failure. You have failed at everything you do. Who are you to give advice to anyone? And one of the safest countries, like, there's a rape crisis going on. Like, before Sweden decided to be multicultural, there used to be something around 1,000 rapes per year. Now there are over 6,000 rapes per year, over 15,000 sex offenses a year. It's a huge sex offense rate. And these are cars burning. Like, this is a phenomenon in Sweden too. For example, in the city of Malmö, or in Stockholm, in the areas of Rinkeby, Husby, Tensta, this is something that happens every day. And it's actually interesting that we used to talk about this a lot in our Finnish podcast. And we have a friend involved in that podcast who lives in Sweden, or used to live in Sweden. And we often talked about these cars burning and made fun of it. And then his car got burned. Like, one day he went to his car and there was only this white spot on the pavement where his car used to be. Like, it was burned and towed away.
So Trump says, just look at what happened yesterday in Sweden. And then the fake news claims that he said that there was a terrorist attack. The Swedish Secret Service and the embassy, the US embassy, were asked what happened, and they have no knowledge. Of course not. And then all these idiots, they use these fake news articles and live in their fake reality. I don't know what Trump meant by what on Friday happened in Sweden, but well, there was a murder in Stockholm. There was many robberies. Kids were being robbed. A normal day in Sweden. In Malmö, there's 4 people who have been shot this year, and it's week 7 going. So this is Sweden. Okay, in Chicago or in those places, people get shot. That's normal. But in Sweden, it used not to be normal. But nowadays, this is the normal. Friday also, there were cars being burned. But his reaction is like a Pavlov dog to say, yeah, Sweden is liberal. Is she enjoying the liberalism here? And she's by the way, she's fining this car, I think. She was from the she's from the parking service, and I remember this photo. This is 2 years ago. She finds some of the cars there.
And what about the wheelchair-bound woman who got gang raped by migrants in Gotland? Is she enjoying this friendly, international and liberal atmosphere of Sweden? Or how about the woman who got drugged and gang raped and had her gang rape live stream on Facebook by the assailants? Is she enjoying this friendly atmosphere? Or How about the young girl, the teenage girl who got first raped by some Somalis?
So tolerant.
And even afterward, she couldn't live in safety. They had to move because the Somali who raped her and his family kept harassing the girl. They even knocked some teeth out of her mouth, like some female family member of her rapist had kept harassing her after the event because she filed a police complaint and had punched her. So they had to move to escape the family of the rapist who kept harassing the teenage victim. Like, wasn't she something like 12 or 13 years old, the victim in that case?
12, 14, something.
And is it part of the friendly atmosphere that they have to put these wire nets around the walls of schools so that if someone throws a Molotov cocktail at the school building, the Molotov cocktail doesn't reach the wall and set the entire building on fire, but it stops on the wires? Like, is that part of the friendly international atmosphere? Or how electricians or meter maids or guards or mailmen refuse to work in certain neighborhoods because they get threatened and assaulted so much over there. Is that the friendly neighborhood? Or how about having to change the opening hours of local libraries because migrants threaten the library workers? Like, these people are so out of touch. Like, it's no wonder they can defend multiculturalism because they don't have to live with the repercussions. They can stay in some rich neighborhood where there is no problem because there are no migrants. They don't live in rich people's neighborhoods. So they can be in safety. But it's the normal people who don't have the luxury to escape to the gated communities. Those people have to live with the fucking consequences. So I always hate it when rich people start telling how wonderful multiculturalism is. So yes, I guess it must be wonderful for you because you don't have to live with it. You can only look at it from TV and it's enough for you.
It's funny because before, when you did a Google search on Sweden, you had only burnt cars, but now they have done something.
Getting a more positive view.
Yeah, there's something has happened. Okay.
And you could say what Trump said about Sweden any day. Like, you could say that, throw that like any day and say, look what happened in Sweden last night. And you would always be right. There would always be something that happened. There would always be some gang rape. There would always be some shooting, some grenade attack. Those even happen, for example, in Malmö. Like, they throw fucking grenades at people. So they set traps for firemen. They assault cops. Like in Rinkeby, it's an area in Stockholm. There are something like 20 to 30 migrants or Muslim men assaulted 2 police officers. And of course, these cops were powerless against a group that large.
So here's a page called swedenwatch.com. And you can get the latest happenings from there in English. And that's
so from there you can see what happened in Sweden last night.
But this is the normal current way of having the discussion. The guy says something, then they misunderstand it on purpose, and then
they put words in his mouth.
And then they make videos that Sweden mocks Trump because they have no idea what happened.
And of course, Swedish politicians are going to be like this because they are fucking morons. That's why their country is like that. Like, if Swedish politicians would be smart, they wouldn't have a country like that. So of course you can expect dumb responses, like the one you saw from Carl Bildt over there. They are morons. Like the fucking feminist government they have right now. Like they pretend to be feminist. They make these mocking photos of Donald Trump with the feminist government signing some bill in some office. And then when the feminist government women go to Iran to make some trade deals, they wear hijabs over there and they don't shake hands with the male leaders of Iran because they have to respect the local culture. So that's how feminist they really are. Yeah, there's a Rebel Media video of that exact subject. Swedish feminists mock sexist Trump but submit to Muslim Iran.
Yeah, so there was this picture, and for some reason this picture triggered this.
And that was one thing, like the Finnish media kept saying, oh, look at how Donald Trump is making a huge show out of his law signing. And that's how it is for every president. You can Google, say, Obama signing a law, George W. Bush signing a law, and you can find those same exact photos of every president, like that over there. That's how it is. It's not Trump being like especially showy in his manners. That's something all presidents do.
Yeah. And so these feminists.
Yeah, over here they are.
Here the Swedish feminists.
Wearing hijabs, politely walking past these Muslim men because they can't shake hands with them. Man. They just completely submit to that.
Idiots.
It's absolutely disgusting. And it's funny that when in Finland on Independence Day there is this presidential ball, and when the members of representatives of Iran wouldn't shake hands with the Finnish first lady, all the feminists said, okay, but it's their culture and blah, blah, blah. But when the first lady went to Iran, she wore a hijab. And then nobody said that, okay, but it's her culture not to wear a hijab. Then these feminists said, yeah, but when you're Rome, do as the Romans do. So if you're in Iran, you have to wear a hijab. Okay, but why doesn't that work the other way around? When they are, these Iranese people, when they are in Finland, why aren't they supposed to do as Romans do? Why aren't they supposed to shake the first lady's hand?
Here's
Yeah, here's the representatives of Iran. They won't shake hands with the first lady.
Okay, so these feminists, they are. I don't know, it's like the police. If there's a Finnish guy, then you can treat him like you want. You can shout at him. You can have. You can throw him to jail violently. But if it's a sun nigger, then you have to obey. Why are these idiots like this? I don't. And they claim to be anti-racist, but they change their behavior depending on the race of the guy. Why?
And it's funny that they are always the most against the only men who have some respect for women's rights. Like to feminists, white men are the biggest evil there is. And white men also are pretty much the only men who want women to have rights. And these feminists cozy up with, say, Muslims, who are the most oppressive people against women. There is no other force or phenomenon or ideology that oppresses more women in the world as we speak as Islam. Still, feminists cozy up with Muslims and pretend Islam is in any way compatible with feminism or Western values.
Yeah, and some people might say that I only complain and I do nothing. Actually, in April there's elections in Finland, and I am a candidate once again, and I'm ready to go there and fight these idiots. because it's okay. Some say it's easy to complain on your sofa, but I will do the same and even more when I'm elected.
And we of course have a lot of interesting stuff coming up. Like on next weekend we have a little trip. We'll be away from for a few days, and we will be making a lot of interesting live streams. I will make sure we'll make something in English too for this channel. And I don't know, what should we say about the trip?
I don't know, maybe either we leave that as a surprise or we tell it now, but maybe we'll leave it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. But anyway, on next weekend, from say Friday on, there will be some interesting stuff coming up to this channel too.
Yep.
And let's see if there's anything in the comment section, any news people mention or anything like that. And one guy says, Sweden is lost. I moved from Stockholm to Helsinki because Finland is so much more sane than Sweden. Well, in comparison to Sweden, everyone is basically sane, but unfortunately, Finland has basically repeated a lot of the same mistakes Sweden made. But I hope things will get better. Like people will wise up at some point. They are talking about Tommy Robinson, saying that he works for Rebel Media now.
I don't know. They have showed some of his videos, but I don't know if he's a.
And I'm being asked what I think about Soini, and I know they mean Timo Soini, the chairman of the True Finns or the Finns Party. And well, I think he should step down from his position. I think Jussi Halla-aho should be the next chairman. I think he'll get the party on track again. And I've actually applied a membership in the Finns Party so that I can vote for Halla-aho in the upcoming chairman election. And they are mentioning Gerd Wilders in here. And we are planning to do some sort of election watch on March 15th when the Dutch election is, so we'll be doing some sort of follow-up on that. And let's see.
Yeah, the Dutch elections are March 15th.
Frederick Witch says, thank you, everything's one from Denmark. And no joking, defending yourself is bigger crime in here than raping. Actually, it is, because in Finland there was a case in which a migrant guy peed on a woman in a nightclub dance floor. I know this sounds familiar to some people because there was a similar case in Sweden not so long ago, but there was a new case of that in Finland, in Turku. And this one migrant guy had harassed some woman, Finnish woman, on the dance floor of a nightclub. This woman had turned him down, and the guy had peed on her legs. And the woman reacted by just hitting him with what was in her hand, what happened to be a pint. And they both got charged for it, or are investigated. And the man is investigated for lewd behavior, and the woman is investigated for assault, which is a more severe crime in Finnish law than lewd behavior. So it's interesting that you can pee on a woman, and it's a smaller offense to pee on a woman, assault a woman like that, than it is to defend yourself. But the woman didn't ask to be in that situation. She didn't initiate violence or force in that. She just defended herself from this fucking creep. And now she's being investigated for assault. But I don't think there's much else for tonight. I have a lot of good video subjects lined up. And I've been thinking about trying out these different formats, like trying out longer videos and shorter videos, see what interests people the most. And I've also been pondering on this idea of another channel on which I could talk about more light subject, because a lot of people who follow this channel want to hear specifically about immigration and politics and things like that. So I could possibly have another channel with some lighter issues, but I will see about that when at first we are done with this trip that's upcoming next weekend. And they are asking, yeah, as Jonas said, mace is illegal here. You have to have a license for pepper spray. And it's very difficult to get that license. What women use mostly is this, and what I also own is this, what is it called? Well, a sort of self-protection spray that has menthol and some dye in it, and it usually also has this alarm in it that starts ringing if you use it. And I don't know, for some reason that's legal, but pepper spray isn't. But I guess
yeah, about Tommy Robinson, he had he was on a live stream, I think, talking about the prison system in the UK, and there was one guy who had put bacon on a mosque's door handles, and he got jailed for 1 year, and he was killed in prison because the prisons are, for some reason, there's lots of Muslims in prison, probably due to discrimination. And in fact, the same thing is happening in Finland. Our officials have noticed, they are so brilliant that they have noticed that there's something weird happening in the prisons in Finland, and which is exactly the same development as in the rest of Europe. And we will have a small discussion about that also in the near future. I don't know when, but first we'll do it in Finnish, and then probably also on this channel in English.
But is this all for tonight? I don't think we have anything else lined up.
No, just.
But we will be back with more live streams, and I'll most likely upload something very soon, most likely tomorrow. So thank you everyone, and have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.